All right, let's dive right into this explainer and see how history's most powerful emperor can actually help us upgrade our minds and just cut through the endless noise of the modern world. I mean, think about it. We are constantly bombarded by distractions, temptations, and this low-level hum of anxiety that just never seems to go away, right? But what if there was an ancient operating system designed specifically to make you immune to all of that? Well, today we're going to unpack 9 timeless rules from Marcus Aurelius that can literally transform how you experience your everyday life.
First off, I need you to be totally honest with yourself for a second here. We've got this deeply ingrained cultural assumption that absolute power corrupts absolutely. We kind of just assume that if someone were handed the keys to the world, plus billions of dollars, they'd inevitably be ruined by their own ego, their desires, and that temptation to just build a bubble of total comfort. But honestly, what would you do? If you were handed absolute power right now today, would you use it to serve others, or would you retreat into luxury?
You know, the way we answer that question actually reveals a whole lot about the operating system we're currently running. Far too many of us are completely trapped in this tangled mess of the victim mindset. We assume our difficult circumstances, or our annoying coworkers, or even just our bad luck, are the things actively ruining our peace of mind. And if you live with that mindset, you're going to stay completely stuck. You'll complain, you'll procrastinate, and you'll carry this exhausting, heavy weight of anxiety with you everywhere you go. But Stoic mastery, that is a completely different approach. It's about taking absolute command of your character, owning your actions, and just eliminating the noise. You basically stop being a helpless victim of your own life, and you start taking charge.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is that absolute power doesn't have to ruin you. Take Marcus Aurelius and the infamous tyrant Nero. They were both chosen for power and groomed for the throne at the exact same age. And yet, Marcus is the spectacular exception to the rule. Instead of becoming corrupted like Nero, the very first thing Marcus did when he was given absolute power was share it with his brother. He survived a devastating plague, constant wars, brutal betrayals, and he did it all while maintaining an absolutely unbreakable character. And the best part, thanks to the private journal he left behind, we can adopt his exact principles today. So, upgrade 1, master your actions. Let's look at how to actually take absolute command of your daily routines.
And that brings us to rule number 5. Look, let's be real for a second. Marcus Aurelius had a significantly better morning routine than you or I do. The man literally ran the Roman Empire, and he still refused to hit the snooze button. He didn't have to get up early at all, but he forced himself out of bed anyway. He'd actually argue with himself in his journal, asking if he was made to just huddle under the covers and keep warm, or if he was meant to go do the work of a human being. He knew that to win the day, you have to start it properly. He'd write down the thoughts that made him a better person, and then get straight to his most important task, telling himself to concentrate like a Roman.
But here's the thing. There is this massive gap between what we know and what we actually do. This is the foundation of Rule 3, and honestly, it's a bit of a harsh reality check. If just having information was enough, no one would be overweight, everyone would have six-pack abs, and every single project would get done perfectly ahead of schedule. We have literally all the information in the world right at our fingertips. You already know how to do the thing you want to do. The problem? It's simply a lack of action.
We are constantly putting things off, aren't we? We tell ourselves we'll start the diet, write the novel, or finally organize our lives tomorrow. But Marcus Aurelius perfectly called out this exact behavior. He said, you could be good today, instead you choose tomorrow. The Stoics were obsessed with the discipline of action, because at the end of the day, it absolutely does not matter what you say or what you think. It only matters what you actually do. We need to stop deferring our greatness and just take that very first step, and no one can stop you from doing that.
This brings up a crucial point, which is Rule 8. Marcus basically advised filtering everything through one incredibly simple question. Is this essential? We're all so incredibly busy, but how much of what we do actually matters? The truth is, most of what we do and say is simply not essential. We do things just because someone asked us to, or, because it's the way we've always done it. But when you eliminate the things you don't actually need to be doing, you get this massive double benefit. You clear your schedule, and you end up doing the truly essential things much, much better.
Moving right along to upgrade 2, shield your mind. Mastering your actions is step 1, but shielding your mind from internal sabotage is what keeps you moving forward.
This perfectly illustrates Rule 4. It takes just an immense amount of self-awareness to truly understand where your negative emotions come from. Remember, Marcus Aurelius lived through an incredibly stressful period. I mean, a literal historic plague. Yet he had this massive mental breakthrough. As he wrote, I escaped anxiety. Actually, no, I discarded it because it was within me.
We absolutely love to blame our stress on our jobs or our families or the economy. But Marcus realized a profound truth here. Anxiety isn't caused by the outside world at all. It is entirely generated by you. Now, I know that might sound a little harsh at first, but it's actually the most empowering realization you can possibly have. Because stress and anxiety are generated entirely from within, it means you already possess the absolute power to discard them. You are in complete control of the factory that produces the anxiety.
Which transitions us perfectly into Rule 2. I know, you probably feel stuck sometimes. We all do. But the Stoics wanted you to know that while one path might be closed, another always remains open. What stands in the way becomes the way. We do not control what happens to us, but we absolutely control how we respond to it. Someone might block you or get in your way, sure, but they cannot stop you from practicing forgiveness or patience. They cannot stop you from changing your mind, learning from the situation, and just forging a completely new, better path.
Okay, upgrade 3, the ultimate character test. This is where we completely reframe how we deal with those difficult people we interact with every single day.
Lean in for a second and really think about this. Who is literally the most frustrating person you have to interact with? Visualize them right now. Maybe it's your most annoying coworker, a difficult relative, or an acquaintance who just drives you completely crazy. Got them in your head?
Well, get ready for a massive paradigm shift, because Rule 7 says that without that exact person you're picturing, you literally cannot practice philosophy. If you read the opening of his Meditations, it's super clear that Marcus Aurelius found other people extremely frustrating and obnoxious too. But he understood that difficult people are an incredible opportunity. Think about it. You can't practice justice without facing injustice. You can't practice patience without facing someone who is infuriating. The Stoics believe we shouldn't resent difficult people at all. We should actually use them as a gym to build our own character.
Now, as we see in Rule 6, this doesn't mean you get a free pass to judge them. Nobody else signed up for your self-improvement journey. Only you did. Therefore, you must apply your high standards only to yourself. Marcus Aurelius lived by this exact rule. Be strict with yourself, but be tolerant with others. Philosophy is designed to make you a master of yourself. It is definitely not designed to make you a condescending, patronizing tyrant who dictates everyone else's behavior. So leave other people to their own mistakes. Just focus on your own side of the street.
Which brings us to Rule 1. My absolute favorite story about Marcus Aurelius takes place during the absolute depths of the Antonine Plague. Millions were dying, the economy was completely devastated, and the citizens felt hopeless. So, what did the most powerful man in the world do? For 2 entire months, he stood on the imperial palace lawn, personally selling the emperor's jewels, robes, and couches. He sent a massive, undeniable message to his empire. He was not going to put himself first while his people were struggling. The Stoics knew that the true fruit of this life is good character and putting the common good first.
And finally, upgrade 4, the final reality check. Let's bring everything together so you don't waste another day. Here's a pretty startling reality check for you. You could literally leave life right now. If you found out you were dying tomorrow, would you keep doing what you were doing today in the exact way you are doing it? Would you really still be stressed about that one email? Would you still be putting off your dreams? Absolutely not. You would instantly alter the way you are living.
So Rule 9 combines 2 incredibly powerful concepts to help you live with that clarity every single day. The first is amor fati, loving your fate. When adversity strikes, you have to realize it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Marcus wrote that a blazing fire turns everything thrown into it into fuel and brightness. You can't just tolerate the difficult things in your life, you have to actively embrace them, bear them, and use them as fuel to build your character.
And the second half of this rule is memento mori, remember you must die. As we've all been deeply reminded of in recent years, life is incredibly fragile. Marcus Aurelius told himself to do everything as if it were the thought or action of a dying person. But hey, don't let this depress you, let it invigorate you. Let the fragility of life determine exactly what you do, what you say, and what you think today. Seize the day and live fully while you still can.
So let's put it all together. Here is our complete new operating system. We put the common good first. We realize we are never actually stuck. We choose to be good today instead of tomorrow. We take ownership and completely discard our anxiety. We own our mornings. We are incredibly strict with ourselves but tolerant of others. We use difficult people to grow. We relentlessly ask if things are essential. And finally, we embrace amor fati and memento mori. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the world. But you know what? His true legacy isn't his empire at all. It's the unbreakable character he forged using these exact 9 principles.
I am going to leave you with one final provocative thought today. We've covered a massive upgrade to our mindset, but information without action is completely useless. So, which one of these specific rules do you personally need to apply to fix your anxiety and take command of your life today? Pick just one, write it down, and start running the Stoic operating system. If you want to keep building an unbreakable mind, there's always more to learn. So dive into the sources, study the philosophy, and we will see you in the next explainer.